Hello Leeds, how you doing? My name's Keith Donnelly and I'm going to sing you some songs. I'm going to tell you some stories and we'll have a bit of fun. This is my special guitar. Did anybody spot what was those pictures on my guitar? Did you spot any of the pictures? Anybody? Can you remember what was on there? There's a crocodile, a donkey, a star with my name in it, there's a bear, and there's a little spaceship, and there's the sky, and the yellow stuff is custard. I might tell you more about that later on, but I thought I should start with a song that everybody knows. This is called If You're Happy and You Know It. But I bet you're all kind of thinking, oh, if you're happy and you know it, oh, he's not going to sing that, is he? Well, this is my version. I've changed it a bit. Watch, it goes like this. If you're happy and you know it, clap your feet. Oh, you might not see my feet. If you're happy and you know it, clap your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your feet. I'm not sure if you could see my feet, but you can see what I was doing. Clap your feet. How stupid is that? If you're happy and you know it, nod your hands. Nod your hands? What kind of crazy idiot nods their hands? Happy and you know it, nod your hands. Nod your hands? You don't nod your hands, you nod your head. That's almost as stupid as clapping your feet. Happy and you know it, you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, nod your hands. Nod your hands? If you're happy and you know it, stamp your head. No, I used to be able to do this, but then I got hit. It was in a car crash. I used to be able to stamp my head. I've got to take me the happy and you know it, stamp your head. You can probably do it. Children can do it. And librarians can do it. I bet one of the librarians can stamp their head. Happy and you know it, you really want to show it. Happy and you know it, stamp your head. If you're happy and you know it, shout, I love chocolate. I love chocolate! Yeah, I bet someone did that one. Happy and you know it, shout, I love ice cream. I love ice cream! If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout, I eat worms. I eat worms! And clap your hands. Everybody, clap your hands. Clap, hooray! That's the first song. Let me just turn that over, because I somehow did that. Sorry, I've just got my clock so I can see what the time is. So that was a song. You might have noticed that was a song. I'll do you a story now. This is a story that comes all the way from Australia. But it's my story. I made it up in Australia. And it's a story about a bird called a kookaburra. Oh, but first of all, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong t-shirt on. I've got a special t-shirt that I wanted to wear to show you for this concert, and I've put this one on instead. I'm so sorry. This is the t-shirt I wanted to wear. That's better, children, isn't it? That's much better. So, King Kookaburra was sitting on his throne high up on top of Uluru Rock in Australia. This is thousands and thousands of years ago, before man ruled the earth. Animals used to be in charge, and the kookaburra was the king. And King Kookaburra, he was sitting there and he was looking a little bit sad. Can you do sad faces? And he was going like this, Kookaburra, Kookaburra, because that's the song he makes. Kookaburra, Kookaburra. And the reason he was sad was that back then there were no musical instruments. There were no violins. There were no pianos. There were no trumpets, no musical instruments at all. But King Kookaburra thought, I know, I'm the king. I'll just get someone to invent me a musical instrument, to make one up. So he gathered all of his animal friends round, all of his subjects, and he said to them, who amongst you will be the first to invent me a musical instrument so that I can dance when I want to, so that I can sing along when I want to, or so that I can just listen to music when I want to? Well, the animals all scratched their heads. If you can scratch your head if you want. And they scratched their heads and they rubbed their chins. And after a while, up stepped the first Australian animal. Now see if you can guess what it is. If I was in your library, I'd get you to pretend to be the animals, but I'm going to have to do it now. Can you guess who this is? Yes, it was a chicken. No, it wasn't a chicken. It was a kangaroo. And the kangaroo stepped up and he said to King Kookaburra, "I've made a musical instrument for you, King Kookaburra." And King Kookaburra went, "Oh great, what is it?" And this is what the kangaroo did. He had a hollow log with him, and with his big springy tail, the kangaroo went. And King Kookaburra went, "Oh, well done, kangaroo. That's good. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but it's good. We'll call that a drum." And all the other animals went, "It's a drum, it's a drum, it's a drum, it's a drum." Can you say that 3 times? It's a drum, it's a drum, it's a drum. Oh, 4 times, well done. It's a drum. And all the animals clapped. And you can clap if you want, it's up to you. And Kangaroo bounced back to where he'd been with a big smile on his face. And then up stepped another Australian animal. I'll give you a clue, see if you can guess what it is. Snap, 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 snap. That's right, it was a snake. No, it was a crocodile. And up stepped the crocodile. And the crocodile, he had a wooden log as well. And with his big snappy jaws he went. And King Kookaburra went, "Well, yes, good. Well done, crocodile. It's good. It was a bit similar to kangaroos, if I'm honest. But that's good. We'll call that another drum." And all the animals went, "It's another drum, it's another drum, it's another drum." 3 times, can you do it? It's another drum, it's another drum, it's another drum. And they all clapped for Crocodile. Except that person over there didn't clap. You can clap as well. And Crocodile walked back to where he was, back to his river or his swamp. And all the animals, and he was big smile on his crocodile face. Well, up stepped another Australian animal. Oh, see if you can guess what this one is. Cuddly, 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 cuddly. Yes, it was a spider. No, it wasn't a spider. It was a koala bear, a cuddly koala bear. And the koala bear stood up and said, "I've got a musical instrument, King Kookaburra." And King Kookaburra said, "Oh, show me, koala bear." And he went, "Look." And King Kookaburra went, "Ah, it's a bit similar to kangaroos and it's a bit similar to crocodiles, but it's good. Don't be upset, koala bear. It's good. I'll call that an electric guitar." "No, it's just another drum." And all the animals went, "It's just another drum. It's just another drum. It's just another drum." So this went on all afternoon. All of the animals kept stepping forward. All of them invented drums. One after another, drum, 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 drum. But whilst the animals were inventing drums, there was a tiny little Australian animal about that big called a termite. And termite, it's a bit like a big red coloured ant. And termites, they eat wood. That's all they eat. And this termite, oh, by the way, his name was Jerry. Remember that. I don't know why it's important, but it might be important. Jerry the termite, whilst the other animals were making up drums, he'd started having his dinner. He'd started eating the branch of a eucalyptus tree that had fallen onto the ground. And he'd started at one end, nibble, 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 nibble. And there were so many animals inventing so many drums that after a couple of hours, he came out of the other end of the branch of the tree with a big fat tummy, like most of us have got because of lockdown. And he stepped up to the king and he said, "Oh, King Kookaburra, I have invented a special musical instrument." And King Kookaburra looked down at Jerry the termite and he said, "Jerry, please, not another drum." And all the animals went, "Jerry, please, not another drum." Can you all do that? "Jerry, please, not another drum." And Jerry said, "Nay, nay, no, no, it is not a drum. If you will allow me, my friend, almost hairless monkey, he will demonstrate." Now, I'll pretend to be almost hairless monkey. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for me, but I will pretend to be almost hairless monkey. Almost hairless monkey, he picked up the eucalyptus branch that the termite had been eating. Now, it didn't look like this. This is a curly-whirly one. His branch was just a long, straight branch, but it did the same thing as this. He picked it up and he put it to his lips and he went like this. And the strangest thing happened. King Kookaburra and all of his animal friends, they found that they were doing like a sitting down dance, like a kind of flappy sway from side to side dance. You can do it if you want. Listen to the music and sway from side to side, flapping your wings. But all the animals at the back, who couldn't quite see what was happening, they were stretching their necks and trying to look over each other's heads, and they were saying, "What did Jerry do? What did Jerry do? What did Jerry do?" Can you say that? What did Jerry do? What did Jerry do? What did Jerry do? And King Kookaburra said, "That's what I'll call the musical instrument. I'll call it an almost hairless monkey blows through termite hollowed out eucalyptus branch." Or I could just call it, have you guessed? Some of you will know. It's called a didgeridoo. And that's a story I made up called What Did Jerry Do? Let me just get my guitar again and I'll sing you this one. Whilst there was an almost hairless monkey in that, I'll do another song about monkeys, because I'm very, very clever, as you've probably guessed. I'm clever at doing songs about animals and things. So this is a song about lots of animals, and you'll learn loads if you listen to the words of this song. It's good for learning stuff. And if I get it wrong, by all means, shout at the screen, at the computer or the television or whatever you're watching. Just shout out, "No, that's wrong!" And I'll hear you, because I'm clever like that. But I probably won't be wrong. I wish I was a monkey with feathers on my wings. I'd flap them and I'd fly around and use my beak to peck at things. I'd build a nest and lay some eggs and eat some worms for breakfast. That's not a monkey. You're right, that's not a monkey, I'm sorry. What is that? That's a bird, of course it is. I wish I was a bird with 4 legs and a trunk. In Africa and India, the folks would say, "Ooh, what a hunk." Hang on, that's not a bird. Is that a bird? 4 legs and a... Someone said it? That's an elephant. Of course it is. I'm sorry. I wish I was an elephant. I'd bounce around Australia with my Joey in my pouch. I wouldn't be a failure. Elephants don't bounce around Australia. There was a clue in the last story. Kangaroo it is, you're right, somebody said it. A kangaroo. Oh, I'm getting everything wrong. I wish I was a kangaroo, the biggest in the sea. I'd squirt some water from my head. "Hey, squirty head," they'd shout at me. Kangaroo with a squirty head. That's not a kangaroo. You're right, that's a whale. Specifically a blue whale, the biggest in the sea. I wish I was a whale. What a tangled web I'd spin. I'd dangle down with my 8 legs and wait until the flies flew in. Is that a whale? Dangle down, 8 legs. Web. Oh, you're right. That's a spider. I'm sorry, I'm getting all these wrong. I'll get it right now. Spider. I wish I was a spider with my neck so long and tall. I'd eat the leaves from up the trees and look down and see. Oh, you're small. Long neck. Long-necked spider. Eating leaf. Giraffe. That's a giraffe. I'm sorry. You're right. Not a spider. Giraffe. I wish I was a giraffe. I'd chase cats and balls all day. I'd cock my leg upon a tree and woof, woof, woof is what I'd say. Someone got me. It's a dog. You're right. It's a dog. I'm getting all of this song wrong. I'm so embarrassed. I wish I was a dog with long hairy arms. Swinging through the jungle wouldn't do me any harm. That's not a dog, is it? Yeah, you're right. That's a monkey. Here we go again. I wish I was a monkey with feathers on my wings. Da-da-da-da. That's a story based on my book. Actually, I've got a book out called I Wish I Was a Monkey, and that's kind of the song that goes with it. I've got time for a couple more. I hope you're enjoying them. I'll do this one. This is a story that kind of turns into a song, and it's a story about a little boy who was about 3 years old. Is anybody out there 3? Anybody 4? Anybody 6? Anybody 37 and unattached? Sorry, This little boy, when he was 3, he went into his daddy's room in the middle of the night, and his daddy was fast asleep like this. Does your daddy snore? Does your mummy snore? Does your brother or sister snore? Do you snore? Anyway, he went into his daddy's room and he got right up close to his bed like this. He crept in really quietly and he put his hands to his mouth and he put his mouth next to his daddy's ear and he went, "Daddy!" And his daddy went, "Ah! Ah! Zombies! Ah! Chickens! Ah! Scary ducks!" Because he had scary ducks dreams sometimes. And then he saw his son and he went, "Oh, son, they gave me the shock of my life. Ah, I thought you were a scary duck or a chicken or a zombie chicken or duck or something. Oh, is everything all right?" And his son said, "Yes, I just want you to sing me a song, please." And his dad said, "You want me to what?" And he said, "I want you to sing me a song, please." And his dad said, "Well, okay, but it's the middle of the night, but if you want me to sing you a song," "Yes, I want you to sing me a song." And he said, "All right, I'll sing you a song about anything you want. What would you like a song about? Would you like a song about..." And the little boy went, "I'd like a song about a sandwich." And his daddy went, "A song about a sandwich?" And he couldn't think of any songs about sandwiches. I've started talking like the little boy. Have you noticed? I've started talking like that. Can you think of any songs about sandwiches? I can't. But luckily, his daddy had a good idea. His daddy went, "Okay, here's a song about a sandwich." And he just made one up. He just made it up. And this is the song he made up. It went like this. Give your hands a shake. Can you do that? Can you put your finger on your nose, everybody? Can you get your other hand and reach underneath that arm and get hold of your ear? And then swap, 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 swap. Anyway, give your hands a shake, sorry. His daddy sang this. He sang, "One slice of bread, another slice of bread. What shall we put in between? A little bit of butter and some..." Now, because it's a sandwich song, he said to his son, "What would you like in your sandwich?" And his son said, "Please, may I have bananas?" And his daddy said, "Yes, of course you can. A little bit of butter and some bananas. That's a sandwich fit for the Queen. There's some for you and some for me. Banana sandwiches for tea. What does it taste like? Let's just see." Now, everybody, show me your invisible banana sandwich. Pretend you've got one. And if you like banana sandwiches, you can eat the whole thing. It's very good as part of a calorie-controlled diet because it doesn't actually exist. And if you don't like bananas, just have a little nibble and then go, "Blah." You have my permission to go, "Blah." Give your hands a shake. We'll do another. And the little boy said, "Daddy, that's a lovely song. Let's eat the banana sandwiches." The boy said, that's a lovely song, Daddy. I nearly did your voice then. I nearly forgot to do my little boy voice." And his daddy said, "Oh, I'm glad you like it." And the boy said, "But please, can we do another sandwich? Can we make another sandwich up?" And his daddy said, "Yes, of course you can. It's your song. I've made it up especially for you. What would you like in your sandwich this time?" And the little boy said, "Well, if you sing the song, I will think of something nasty to put in the sandwich. Let's make a nasty sandwich." And his dad said, "A nasty sandwich? Fair enough." So this is when it went like this. Give your hand a shake. And it went, "One slice of bread, another slice of..." I'm fed up now. I'm singing all these songs. I'm telling all these stories. Some of you are joining in, but normally when I sing the sandwich song, everybody joins in on the one slice of bread. There was just 2 people going, "Sing it properly. Sing it nice and loud. Give your hands a shake and sing. One slice of bread, another slice of bread. What shall we put in between? A little bit of butter and some..." Now, can anybody out there think of any nasty, horrible, yucky sandwiches? Something that would make you go, "Yeah." Because I'm going to tell you what the little boy... Oh, someone shout. Yeah, shout them out. Shout them out. Yeah, I was going to say put your hands up. But if you put your hands up, I can't actually see you put your hands up. So shout them out and I'll do whoever says the loudest one. Worms! Good one! A little bit of butter and some worms. That's a sandwich fit for the Queen. There's some for you and some for me. Worm sandwiches for tea. What does it taste like? Let's just see. still tastes better than Marmite. Now, this song finishes in a really good way because this song finishes starting with another story, but I haven't got time to tell you the other story, but I'm going to give you a clue to what's going in the sandwich and see if you can guess what the story's about when we get to the chorus bit. So help me sing the song. It goes, one slice of bread, another slice of bread, what shall we put in between? A little bit of butter and a sorceress who lives on the beach. That's a sandwich fit for the queen. There's some for you and some for me. Sandwich, sandwiches for tea. See, sorceress who lives on the beach, a sandwich. What does it taste like? Let's just see. Crunch, crunch, crunch. That's a sandwich fit for the queen. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. And I haven't got time for the story about the sandwich, the sorceress who lives on the beach, because it's quite a long story, but perhaps another time I can tell you that story. Perhaps I can come into your libraries and really tell you a story live. That would be great. But I've got time for a couple more quick songs. If I'm quick, let me try this one on you. This is a song. As we had a kangaroo in one of the stories, or songs, or both, and as we've just done the sandwich song, I feel like I should tell you what my favourite sandwich in the whole world is, children. Now, you probably won't believe this, but this is absolutely true. My favourite kind of sandwich is a crab sandwich. Now, if you've never had one, that might sound yucky, but crab sandwiches are And this is a song about a little crab and a kangaroo. And it's a story song, really. Said the little crab to the kangaroo, I'm in love with you, could you love me too? Said the kangaroo to the little crab, I don't know how this'll work, but let's give it a stab. One walked side to side whilst the other hopped, and though it wasn't easy, their loving never stopped. And who should come along almost before they knew? 7 kangaroos and 1 little crabbaroo. The little crab fell in love with a kangaroo. Isn't that beautiful? And it's made me think, oh, here's a song. This is kind of a story, but it's also a test, this song. This song, I'm going to sing it once through, and then the second time, I want you all to sing it. I'm going to see who can remember all the words to this song. It might sound tricky, but I think you'll manage. It's a song called My Little Town, and it goes like this. In my little town, in my little town. That's the chorus. Sing the chorus if you want. In my little town, in my little town. Now listen to the story, because you're going to have to sing it the second time through. In my little town, there is a little street, and in my little street, there is a little house, and in my little house, there is a little room, and in my little room, there is a little bed, and in my little bed, there's me. In my little town. Let's sing the chorus a couple of times. In my little town. Here we go. In my little town, there is a little street, and in my little street, there is a little house, and in my little house, there is a little room, And in my little room there is a little bed, and in my little bed there's me. Well done. Some of you got that right, some of you went a bit astray. I once sang that song, and a little girl at the end, after I'd sung, in my little bed there's me, she shouted out, and my teddy bear. Oh, isn't that lovely? So I've got time for a very quick story leading into this final song, my favourite song about my favourite food. So this is a story called Mr Wibble and Mr Wobble, and I'll just do the beginning of this story because it's the best bit. This is Mr Wibble's house. You can do that with your hand if you want. And this is Mr Wobble's house. And one day, Mr Wibble opened his door, and he came outside, and he closed his door. And Mr Wobble opened his door, and he came outside, and then they both went. Mr Wobble's forgotten to close his door. And then they both. Hang on a sec, sorry. Mr Wobble, come on! They both went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill, and they ran to the top of the hill, very fast, without looking where they were going, very dangerous, and they bumped heads, bump, and they rolled back down the hill, and Mr Wibble came up rubbing his head and he said, Mr Wobble, you silly Billy, you bumped my head. And Mr Wobble was rubbing his head and he said, Mr Wibble, you silly Billy, you bumped my, that's not my head, that's my bottom. And Mr Wibble said, that's not your bottom, that's your bottom. And he pointed to his bottom. And Mr Wobble said, that's not my bottom, that's my nose. And Mr Wobble said, that's not your nose, that's your nose. And Mr Wobble said, one of them said, that's not my nose, that's my ear. And Mr Wibble said, that's not your ear, that's your ear. And Mr Wobble said, that's not my ear, that's my elbow. And Mr Wibble said, that's not your elbow, that's your elbow. And Mr Wobble said, that's not my elbow, that's my head. And Mr Wobble said, that's not your head, that's your head. And Mr Wobble said, that's not my head, that's my bottom. And then they both went back up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, got to their own little houses. Mr Wibble opened his door, and he went inside, and he closed his door. And Mr Wobble opened his door, and he went inside. And that's the story of Mr Wibble and Mr Wobble. Mr Wobble. Sorry. That's the story of Mr Wibble and Mr Wibble. That's the story of Mr Wibble and Mr Wobble, but it's a very short version. I would love to come and tell you the whole version sometime, but I've just got time for my very favourite song about my very favourite thing in the whole world, other than singing songs and telling stories to children. This is a song called The Custard Song, and it goes like this. Now, when I'm singing this live, you guys have to kind of make up songs, tell me songs that you know that I can put into this song, but I'll have to just do it I'll do it myself today. I'll tell you some of the songs that people normally say, like nursery rhymes, such as things like Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. He stuck in his thumb and he pulled out a plum and he covered it with custard. Custard, custard, he covered the plum in custard. Custard, custard, he covered the plum in custard. So the chorus just goes like this. It goes, custard, custard, he covered it in custard. Can you sing that with me? Custard, custard, he covered it in custard. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, covered in custard. Custard, custard, covered in custard. Sing! Custard, custard, covered. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells, covered in custard. Custard, custard, covered in custard. Custard, custard, covered in Tinky Winky Dipsy, La La and Po. Teletubbies, covered in tubby custard. Custard, custard, covered in tubby custard. Custard, custard, covered in Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men covered him in egg custard again, egg custard again, egg custard again. They covered him in custard, custard, custard. They covered him in custard. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, so Jill covered him in custard, custard, custard. A bucket full of custard, 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 a bucket. So it works with any song you can think of. It doesn't have to be nursery rhymes. You can do things like, I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Covered in custard, 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 covered in custard, 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 covered. So that's my song. It's a trifle long, and I feel a trifle flustered. I'm scared one day that I'll be singing this song and someone may cover me in custard, 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 cover me in custard, 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 cover me in custard, 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 custard. Bye, Leeds.